Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today we're going to study about elegy. So let's dive into it. So elegy, a mournful, melancholy or plaintive poem, especially a funeral song or a lament for the dead, right? So it's a mournful a song or the poem. It is supposed to be very moving, and it is supposed to be written when someone has died and someone has lost something that is very precious to the writer. So it's a very mournful, which means a sorrowful, a saddening poem. Melancholy or melancholic is again means very extreme grief or extreme sadness. Secondly, a poem written in elegiac meter. All right, a poem which is written in elegiac meter. Next, a form of poetry that mourns the loss of someone who has died or something that has deteriorated. All right, something that has vanished, that has finished, and something that a writer has lost, and the writer is extremely sad about that. And in order to in order to mourn, in order to feel sad about that certain thing or a human, if someone dies, the so writers are supposed to write elegy. So it is very sad or sorrowful poem or a song. An elegy is typically a poem of lamentation. It's extreme sadness, which expresses gloomy thoughts of a person who is no more. All right, when someone dies, when someone dies, you remind that person by just thinking about that person, about his or her good deeds, about you, how you spent the quality time with that person. So you just, what you do, you just try to remember all the things, all the and it makes you extremely sad about it. It is commonly written in praise of the deceased and has an air of melancholiness around it. So what you do when you write elegy, so it contains all the praising words that that person was extremely beautiful, and the character of that person. So it contains the praising of that deceased person, or all the good quality that deceased person had. The word elegy originated from the Greek word elegia, which means to lament or to be sorrowful. Sorrowful, sadness, melancholy, grief, gloom, to feel very gloomy. They are the words that are linked with elegy. Now let's see, an elegy usually brings comprises of three stages of grief, which are as follows. So in elegy you always see three stages of grief, three stages of sadness. In the first stage you'll see the grief. The writer or the poet shows his lost his shows his lost, his sorrow, his how the poet feels about that loss. All right, he just communicate that how he feels, and he has lost something, now he's grieving. And then the praise of the dead. Now in the second, you will see that, and the poet tries to tell the good parts or the good deeds or the qualities of that person, and consolation towards the loss. And in the very last or the final stanza of the elegy, you will see that the poet calms himself or herself and just accepts the reality in a very sad manner. So overall, the air of the elegy is very saddening, a very melancholic, a very sorrowful. People get the words eulogy and elegy mixed up, so we'll try to just find out the difference between these two, so that we can have a better understanding what is elegy again and what is eulogy. A eulogy is a speech that praises someone or something, typically after they no longer exist. Funerals, as you have probably experienced, are the standard occasion for giving a eulogy, in which one person reflects on and celebrates the deceased's life. So, what happens in you have seen that in churches or in certain formal settings, if someone is deceased, so all the relatives or the close friends come and join that ceremony, and then someone who's extremely close to that deceased, so he or she gives a kind of speech. It contains all the good qualities, all the good qualities of the deceased, so that would count as eulogy. An elegy is a poem, and it has particular kind of emotion driving it. That emotion is lament, meaning to feel and express sorrow and to mourn for something. All right, it can be your pet, it can be something that was extremely close to your heart, and now you have lost it, and then you're lamenting about it. And yes, elegies are very often about someone who has died, but it might also be something that has died, say a feeling or a relationship. All right, it can be about a relationship or a feeling. Or I should say, elegies are an expression on the occasion of loss generally. If something that is lost, so then you're going to write you're going to write elegy. They are the expressions of the hurt, the wound. All right, they are the howl of grief when when you feel extremely sorrow. They are the study. They are study of what is wept for. They are the blues, the emotion of lament, and what to make of that lament is the subject of the elegy. Now let's see what are the characteristics of an elegy. The characteristics of a traditional elegy are as follows. So the first we have, an elegy begins with a lament of loss of life of a person or loss of a thing. It could be a person, a thing, or a relationship. A sorrow is followed by the poet's admiration for the person or thing lost. So first, poet tries to convey his sorrow, his loss, and the second, as the poet as the sorry as the poem progresses in the second part, the construction, generally the lost person's qualities and remarkable performance or activities are endorsed. The qualities or the character of that person or that thing is endorsed. An elegy is a kind of a lyric which centers an expression of sentiments, beliefs, or opinions. The poet also tries to convey his or her opinion about that particular person. The language and the structure of an elegy is extremely formal and ceremonial. An elegy may be based on either the transience of life of a person or the attractiveness and magnificence of somebody close to the speaker's heart. All right, so what the speaker tries to do, so he just tried to communicate all the good feelings about the person. An elegy may search answers to questions related to the nature of life and death of the body or immorality of the soul. So, what poet can do? Poet can question these courses of life, that why this happens, and he or she can express his rage and uncontrolled anger for his loss. Sometimes an elegy also expresses the speaker's resentment or rage about a loss or dismiss a person's death. The last or the third stage of the elegy is about its consolidation, in which the poet tries to convey the feeling of calmness to himself. This element may be more religious. It is a various type. It is a various types, such as personal, impersonal, and pastoral. So we have different kind of elegies. They are personal, impersonal, and pastoral. Now we have example over here, which is example one. "O Captain, My Captain" by Walt Whitman. It was written in 1891, and it is again about a captain. Let me read it first, and then I'm just gonna give a quick summary about it. All right, oh Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has withered every rack, the prize we saw is won. The port is near, the bells are here, the people are exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring, but oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. So What happens? The poet wants to convey that happiness and sadness go parallelly in life and are inseparable. Also, the captain, this poem focuses on the expression of grief. The poetic speaker tells of a ship captain who has died and the pain of that loss. So yes, the Whiteman wrote this poem in response to the assassination and death of President Abraham Lincoln in 1865. All right, so they were what happened. I'm just gonna make another video lesson, and then I'm gonna explain the entire poem, "Oh Captain, My Captain." So what happens? The captain has died, even though they have earned something. They have earned something, and then at the end of the journey, the captain has died. See, fallen cold and dead. So I hope about elegy everything is clear to you. If you have any confusion regarding elegy, just make sure to comment down below, and I will be very happy to answer all of your questions. Allah Hafiz.